All right, here we go. So, hi, Mr. Smilowski. My name is Chris Kim, and this is my Design Challenge 1 Matrix video. Okay, so, sorry, let me just pull up the everything so I don't forget. So, yeah. So, anyways, so as we can see here, this is my design matrix for 5 different types of seating areas. There is one particular seating area that I did want to point out. It's this one. Even though the subject of the picture is these chairs, I actually meant it to be these ones in the back. Other than that, everything else is fairly straightforward. We got, so we'll go from 1 through 5. So we have the common area. It's the sofas slash couches. Then we have an outdoor seating area, very metallic. Then we have the plastic chairs used in a standard classroom. Then we have more of the lecture hall chairs, which are the fabric ones. And then we have the doctor's office seating areas. I did look at some of the examples for like that you gave and how you included things like bean bags. However, one of the reasons why I kept everything somewhat in line with each other was mainly for the fact that I felt it would be hard to give a fair comparison to things that are made both completely differently and for completely different reasons. Like, I do understand the point of this is to compare and contrast seating areas, but I just felt it was kind of like a apples to oranges type of seating thing. Like, it's hard to say, like, like this one is, like one of them is better and blah blah. But anyways, so I have the matrix right here, but I also have it in this little graph that I created just to do like a more visual comparison. And the thing that I found is, since everything was based on a negative to positive scale, meaning that higher costs would lead to a lower score cost, and then a positive comfortability score is a positive score, that the total does have some impacts on my overall viewing of these certain seating areas. But I did note that a lot of my judgments kind of seem to fit within a range. My minimum score that I gave is 3, and the highest I gave was 8. And the standard that I used to compare all of these seating areas by is a standard office chair, because I was looking through this, and to me this is like the best comparison, because like something like this where comfortability would probably be a 5, cost is around is about average cost for a chair, environmental impact about average. Like, I just thought this was an average chair, and I just found it hard to find something that truly deviated strongly in one way or the other. Like, in order for a chair to be, or a seating area to be like amazing, it would have to wow me to receive like a 9 or 10. And at least from what I saw around school and outside, nothing really stood out to me. And in a more positive aspect, nothing also stood out as terribly bad. And I think that's for a reason. These seating areas all had a purpose, and in at least one way or another, they do fulfill their purpose. And the school's not going to go overboard with cost, or they're not going to get something that's super dangerous. So I think that's kind of why we have this standard range. But anyways, as you can see here, I gave the common area, the sofas, the highest total. And like, I was looking through and trying to figure out why it got such a high score relative to everything else, which got around the same. And I just think that it's because its purpose is to be comfortable, and it's something that's designed to be safe, and it's something that's designed or like was put there so that people could have a means to communicate and collaborate with other classmates, or maybe just hang out with their friends and have somewhere to just take a break. And I think that it does it well. It's a fairly comfortable, I would have to guess either like plastic or a faux leather. The parts where it got like bad scores is like costs, environmental impact, and sustainability. They kind of got a medium, just because although it takes more resources to design or to buy something like that or to create a sofa like that, it does accommodate more than one. So if you wanted to replace it with, let's say, like the plastic classroom chairs, you would have to buy multiple chairs to get what you would get with that sofa. um, which kind of led me to discover that almost all of them have very similar scores in terms of sustainability and environmental impact. Um, but anyways, yeah. So the common area, I think it does fairly well, and it's comfortable, and it's designed to be a social place. So high scores. Going down, we have the outdoor seating area, which got the second highest, which I thought was kind of interesting because it's kind of like almost in opposite or in opposition to the common area. It's something that I saw and I felt as it had a purpose, it did it well, no questions asked. That's why for comfortability, it got the lowest score. It's this cold, hard seat. I don't really want to sit there all day if I don't have to, but as people are going to class or waiting for their class to come, it does provide a way for students to get things done, which is why it got such a high score in function. And for sustainability and environmental impact, despite the cost being higher than, let's say, the plastic chairs for obvious reasons, it's something that was made out of metal. For one thing, the environmental impact of not being made out of plastic is something beneficial, not only due to the microplastics, but it is something that will typically last longer and degrade well, meaning that it's something that if we threw into the earth, that it'll biodegrade within less than 100 years, most like, versus for plastics, it would stick around for a while. So that's why it also got the highest for sustainability, because it took it's something that will stay around most likely longer than everything else if used the same amount. The next one got the lowest score. It's the classroom plastic, but I have to be honest, I think I may have been a bit biased on this because I don't I don't really like those chairs. I scored it just a tiny bit higher than the metal ones because at least for these, they had more like they had a dip in where your butt goes, and I found that to be something that held me better, and it was something that was just slightly more comfortable than something that's completely flat and metal. It but overall, the cost. Oh shoot, I actually did that wrong. Sorry, let me just change that. 7. Yeah, it would be 7. So now it should actually be green. Sorry, my bad. Apologies. Huh. Oh wait, no. No, I know that was right. Dang it, I messed up. Shoot. Oh, sorry, I was looking at the wrong one. Oh yeah, but cost, it got the highest because it's just this thing that seems cheap and mass-produced. Environmental impact and sustainability, despite being made out of plastic, it's something that will most likely last a long time, and that's one of the benefits of plastic. Despite being, something that we kind of found out to be fairly permanent and not very biodegradable, it's something that's cheap and it lasts a long time, and that's why it's so widely used. Safety, even though it's not like the most dangerous chair, I did give it the lowest, just because I have had instances of, like, maybe leaning back too far and feeling like I'm gonna fall, or it's just I have safety in my head as more of a sense of security rather than a complete physical safety, because I don't think it's fair that I rate something based on a if I rate it on literal safety, I really have no way of testing that unless we put it through some sort of test. Then let's see, we have about average for it does what it has to, it doesn't do it great, and it looks terrible. So anyways, yeah. So then we have the classroom fabric. I saw this as a big step up from classroom chairs or the plastic ones, just based on a practicality and comfortability aspect. However, it's about the same because it did lose out on environmental impact and sustainability. A lot of these chairs in general were like, they're very solid. Like they had a lot of materials put in. You also have to consider that a lot of these chairs aren't just chairs that you can ship in, and just throw it in a classroom. A lot of these chairs are installed, and that takes both a lot of material. It's going to take a lot of like labor hours. So it scored a lot lower, or fairly lower, on sustainability and environmental impacts. I didn't go too low just because I do have the same feeling as I do about like the sofas, in the sense that even though it took more resources, it's something that I see as would probably last longer, or just a tiny bit, than plastic. I would say plastic in general is a little bit more durable, but this was a higher quality of fabric. It also completed its function a tiny bit better. Like, I feel like when I'm more comfortable in a classroom, I'm more able to focus on the tasks at hand. And lastly, for the doctor's office, so this one also got fairly low, just because it's something that took metal, it took plastic, it took cotton. It took a lot of material, so its cost was a bit higher, or I mean lower, but lower score, higher cost. Environmental impacts and everything, I would say it's about five. Like, I see it as kind of this standard that I based everything by. Sorry, I'm a bit sick today, but social impact is kind of what brought this down so much. I see these chairs as more comfortable and better at doing what they're doing than, say, the plastic ones, or even, like, in some aspects, the fabric chairs. However, it lost on social impact. It To me, office chairs, or sorry, like doctor's office chairs, are meant to be something where you can just sit in and get something done. So its function is really high, but it's not meant to be as something that you can collaborate with other people. If anything, it's meant to like distance you. As you can see, the chairs are all fairly straightforward with armrests, kind of blocking if you have anyone in between you, versus something like this where the form is a lot more let's say like this. This is a lot more free flowing. The chairs are easier to move around, which kind of allows you to better collaborate with other people. I think these chairs were designed with like opposite of social interactions in mind. And aesthetics, it's a chair, what am I gonna say? I created this trying to just look for any things, like maybe if I can see any oddities, and the main things that I noticed was just the main two that kind of had the most similar like forms would be the common area chairs and the classroom fabric chairs, because I think they both scored, like, all of them scored relatively similar on environmental impact, safety, sustainability. But they both do a fairly good job in the social aspect, the comfortability aspect, and the like aesthetics aspect. This should be green. So, anyways, thank you for listening. I know I kind of went a bit overboard on time. However, this is my project. Thank you.